From the railway station, we soon reached Sri Suresh's place of work and residence. He is now the principal of Sampurna Kendra Vidyalaya, which has emerged as one of the reputed schools in Dibrugarh within a short span of time. The school is affiliated with CBSE in New Delhi. Under his leadership, the school has scaled new heights in academic and non-academic areas, thereby contributing to the all-round growth of the students under his care. Such has been his hold on the administration. One of the parents, Sri Gappu, son of Sri Premji Agarwal, lovingly called Chachaji by us, remarked that Sri Suresh knows the names of each of the 1,200 students in the schools, their parents and their profession. We quickly had our ablutions and breakfast and left for meeting some of the ex-colleagues nearby. We reached the place unannounced as we want to throw a surprise at them. As we reached the place and took a look at the surroundings, Sri Singhji, our old neighbor there, was first to recognize Sri Bhushanji and inquired about his welfare. Sri Ram Bahadur was first one to be surprised as he came down to inquire about the intruders, arriving perhaps well before the office hours. His serious face suddenly gleamed with a broad smile, seeing us after a gap of 12 years. Sri Ram Bahadur was a self-made man. Joining the institution as a young boy to help in kitchen work, he had set his eyes on driving but was denied that opportunity. That made him leave the job and become a handyman in a truck only to learn driving on-job training. Later, obtaining a license, he came back and rejoined the institution as a driver. Thanks to Sri Ram Bahadur, our news of reaching the place soon spread, and Jayasri Didi was second one to meet us. A microbiologist by profession settled in Mumbai, she preferred to relocate to Northeast after taking a VRS. Since then, she has been the backbone of the coordinating work of the institution. We went to surprise everyone there, but it was the turn of Jayasri Didi to surprise us that made us dumbfounded. Susri Ratna soon joined the discussion, informing that she could recognize the voice from the adjoining room. As we were talking to them, Sri H.B. Gurung entered the room and was busy with his morning rituals of signing the attendance register, picking up the vehicle keys, etc. Ever since our meeting him, he was found to be very punctual in his duties. He is the second in seniority in service of the institution. Sri Gurung was oblivious of our presence in the room till his attention was drawn by Jayasri Didi towards us. How happy he was evident from the warmth of the embrace he gave us. Sri Gurung used to be in touch with us over phone and often expressed his desire to meet us at least once before his retirement in March 2013. By meeting him, we were happy to have helped him in fulfilling that desire. Sri Mahesh B. Menon, the most senior in service, soon rolled in front of us. He is now the office secretary of the institution. Though it cannot be termed as a meteoric rise as it took place only at a snail's pace, his rise has been something similar to that proverbial term. Hailing from Kerala and joining as an LDC there when he was just in his early 20s, Sri Mahesh has been a powerhouse of office work for years together. Coming from his house located in the railway colony, either on a bicycle or a bullet motorcycle that produces lot of sound to announce his arrival in time, he never looks at the clock while working except for lunch, with the result that somebody has to remind him to pack up and go back to his home when the hour hand in the wall clock goes beyond the 9 p.m. figure. His integrity and attachment to the institution has been the secret behind such hard efforts from him. Sri Probin Saikia, with a meek smile that reveals his teeth tainted by excessive betel nut chewing, was soon in front of us with his usual crouch body posture. He, with a tremendous integrity and truthfulness, has been another gift to the institution. He also showcases the typical contented nature so abundantly found in the people of Assam. During the conversation, we were delighted to learn that he has come out of an addiction just by a conscious decision that he took one day. His case can therefore be a source of inspiration to all those who are addicted to it but find it difficult to come out of that evil. Sri Arindam Bhattacharji is gifted with a pleasing personality traits and a wonderful smile. Joining as a clerk to keen expenditure vouchers, he got promotion as an accountant with the challenging work of visiting the schools to verify and guide the accounts. He voluntarily took up monitoring the library maintenance and reading habits of the students in the schools. Within a short period of his taking up the work, with meticulous planning, Sri Arindam brought about a sea change in the deadlines in accounts finalization work. We could not see much change in him except that of his acquiring a new asset around the waistline of his body's balance sheet. Being an accountant, Arindam surely knows that it could be placed under immovable property, as once acquired, it only grows in size and stature. Sri Mohan Chetri, the driver, was in his usual withdrawn nature by showering only smiles on us. He has been one of the best drivers of the institution. Another driver, Sri Thapa, was also in time to meet us there. Sri Santosh Saha, despite having a frail body, has been a man with enormous energy levels, boundless enthusiasm and an infectious, beautiful smile. He was one of the pillars of purchase and supply division. Most of his time was spent either on scouting for school stationaries and mess provisions in the market, or ensuring his delivery in the remote schools in Arunachal Pradesh at the right time. As time passed, he seems to have stockpiled some inventories all around his body, contributing to a slight improvement in the body mass. On his informing about Dikshita, his girl child, we too felt happy at the prized possession he has added to his inventory list. He also told that well before she was born, he has asked Sri Suresh to ensure a seat for her in SKV. Sri Bachude, the office assistant, was an embodiment of humility with his impeccable manners and mild smile. He seems to have only added to those qualities as the years rolled out. The only difference that we noticed was that he has given up the cycle and now uses a Hero Honda motorcycle for commuting from his house at Shantipara to office. Sri Bachu's father, Sri Nani Gopal, had been the institutional tailor ever since the beginning, helping in getting the measurements and stitching new uniforms for all school children. Unlike the folk of his tribe who never deliver on the promised date, he kept the deadlines always. No doubt, in his passing away, the institution lost a trusted hand in tailoring. As we stood on the veranda, Sri Basant Saikia was just reporting for duty. An expert in DTP, Sri Basant revolutionized the appearance of the house magazine, with school children, their parents, teachers and staff eagerly look forward to year after year. As can be expected, time appeared to have brought changes in his appearance by cropping the hairline a bit. Soon it was the turn of Sri Tapan Ghosh to come and greet us. He has been in charge of the Chitragupta printing press set up there. He proudly showed the machine, acquired 15 years ago, that it was still looking brand new, showed the type of love with which Sri Tapan has been taking care of it. He also proudly told about his daughter getting admission in SKV, Dibrugarh. On hearing about our arrival, Sri Mohan Mandal, the institutional carpenter, came rushing from home only to meet us. It was so nice of him to have taken pains for that. It was he who, in the thick of piling carpentry works of the institution, designed two of the trophies for games that changed the scene of sports and games in the institution. He was particularly inquisitive about the whereabouts Sri Sukumar, under whom he has been working for such a long time. As we kept talking to everyone, we eagerly inquired about two persons, Sri Kismat Thapa and Sri Ram Singh, who have taken good care of the kitchen while we were there. Rarely can one come across a workaholic person like Thapa. That there was a competition among the principals to have him deputed to their schools showed his immense popularity among them. When it comes to Sri Ram Singh, it was a gradual progress from an innocent rural youth to an excellent badminton player who almost clinched the inaugural badminton tournament title. We were told that both of them were posted to schools. During our surprise visit, we were lucky to have met all those with whom we formed a formidable team to deliver the work of the institution with a telling impact by raising the quality bar substantially. Such was the team spirit among them, there was never an occasion or need to pay a surprise visit to office to cross-check his functioning. As we returned to Sri Suresh Place, Sri Siddhartha Ray, an art teacher, came to meet us. He was another personality who gave life to the house magazine of the institution. He gladly admitted that he getting an opportunity to work as a visiting art teacher in many of the schools brought about a huge change in his attitude towards the subject he learned. He said that it came even as he was keen to take up the job of a clerk elsewhere. Sri Sanjay Sharma, a journalist by profession, has been doubling up as the right hand of Sri Suresh. He was in his exuberant spirits when we met us in the school in the afternoon. In his first meeting itself, he wanted us to make him also a part of our team, which we readily accepted. And he was delighted to hear that his has been the bogie that we have added up to the train that we are made up of. Later, meeting his family consisting of 2 children and wife and an elderly mother on the day of Diwali was most memorable. They have the fathomless hospitality ingrained in each one of them, and we with poor intake capacity were caught on the wrong side of the fence. We also took time to meet Sri Vijay Devra, his son Sri Vivek Devra, and Sri Bindeshwar of Commercial Equipment House. They have been the pillar of strength for the institutional activities by delivering quality goods and stationeries at the doorsteps of those remote schools at the barest minimum rates. During this trip, we could not meet Sri Premji Agarwal, lovingly called Chachaji, as he was away in Banaras. Accompanied by Sri Suresh, Satyanarayanji and Sri Sanjay Sharma, we went to meet Susri Bhanubhai Dev and Krishna Barua, the 2 trusted women lieutenant for years in Dibrugarh. There were hardly anyone stationed in the organizational setup in the Northeast who have not enjoyed their loving care and overflowing hospitality. Even at that stage and failing body, Bhanubhai Dev could recognize us. She lovingly inquired about the welfare of Sri Vasudevan, Venkatraman, Gajanan, Ravi, Rajashekaran and Sukumar. As we took leave of them, the sight that I saw kept coming to my mind, making me wonder about the silent efforts and sacrifices of thousands of people like that of Sri Premji Agarwal, Susri Bhanudev, Krishna Barua, etc. to the development of the organization and institution. Drawn by the values organizations preach from public platform, they might have hoped that not less than a revolution was in the offing in the country. As their share towards it, they might have contributed their prime time, energy and precious resources to it, only to realize later that those very values were only for public consumption. And by that time that realization comes, they also notice that their contributions have gone down into the black holes of the organizational balance sheet, with no credit given to anyone. No wonder in India organizations and institutions manage only to survive beyond the silver jubilee years.